Every IELTS candidate studies vocabulary, grammar, and sample tests. Yet most remain stuck between Band 6 and 7. You study hard, perhaps achieve a small improvement, but then plateau again. Do you know why? Because the real challenge is not just language. It is understanding how the examiner thinks. Examiners use subtle cues, silent expectations, and hidden standards that never appear directly in the public band description. If you fail to decode this examiner's mindset, your preparation will always feel like guesswork. But once you unlock it, your answers align naturally with what examiners reward, and that is how Band 9 becomes possible. So, in this video, I'm going to reveal the examiner's mindset through actual test secrets and strategies. These are based on my analysis of over 20 years of IELTS exams, 10 years teaching top-scoring students, and 5 years working in the UK education system. By the end of this video, you will understand the hidden criteria examiners rely on to make their decisions. And if you apply these insights during your exam, your score will immediately start to improve without memorizing any answers or spending endless hours on vocabulary. Ready? Let's get started. When an examiner asks you to describe something familiar, it is not a simple information request. They want to see how well you expand ideas, how you connect personal experience to broader themes, and whether you can use vocabulary. A student who only lists facts will sound flat, but a student who extends the answer with subtle detail and opinion immediately signals higher level performance. Examiners silently notice this difference. For example, in the recent July 2023 exam, the Describe a Family Photo task was quite straightforward. Most students could talk about the photo without too much difficulty. However, to score a Band 9, you need to go beyond simply describing what is in the picture. One of my students scored a Band 9 with this answer. Notice how she does not merely state the obvious. She infers emotions and makes subtle comparisons. For instance, while describing the man in the photo, she says, "He looks serious, probably because he knows the photo will be used in the presentation." This is an inference, not a fact, and it elevates her description. She also weaves in a personal touch by saying, "It reminds me of my grandfather, who passed away a few years ago," connecting the photo to a deeper sentiment. This blend of detailed description, inference, and personal reflection showcases a nuanced understanding of the task, hinting at a Band 9. Now compare this to a weaker response. This candidate presents the information, but fails to add depth or insight. There's no attempt to infer meaning from the photo or connect it to personal experience. As a result, the answer remains on the surface, limiting the potential score. The key takeaway here is that examiners silently look for two things. First, your ability to interpret the task. Does your answer address all parts of the question? Second, your capacity to elevate simple tasks with detail and thoughtfulness. Remember, it's not just about the language. It's about what your language reveals about your thinking. Mastering this approach will help you tackle any task confidently. Examiners listen carefully to your pronunciation, but they pay even closer attention to how long you pause between words. Now, let me clarify. They don't measure your fluency in seconds or syllables. Instead, they listen for strategic silences. Many candidates mistakenly believe that all pauses lower fluency, but this isn't true. Examiners can tell the difference between a nervous hesitation and a thoughtful pause to organize your thoughts. They appreciate the latter and factor it into your fluency score. It's like this. Imagine someone asking you a challenging question you haven't thought about before. Would you give an immediate answer or take a moment to collect your thoughts? Naturally, you'd likely pause to structure your response. This is what examiners are silently testing when they ask questions in reading and listening. During speaking and writing, they assess your ability to balance fluency with coherence. In the describe a family photo task, a student might stumble over a word or two. But if they pause to correct themselves smoothly and maintain a good pace, it won't hurt their fluency score. However, if a different student speaks rapidly without pausing, even though they might have perfect pronunciation, they could lose points for fluency. The reason? Examiners assume that speaking slowly allows for better planning and expression. So don't be afraid to pause. If it helps you express your ideas more clearly, it will benefit your score. Remember, it's not about talking fast, it's about talking with clarity and control. In IELTS writing, the hidden code examiners rely on is precision and clarity. Now, let me illustrate this with two sample answers to the same question. Both are from students who scored around Band 7. At first glance, they look similar, but upon closer inspection, we can spot key differences. The first answer is longer and includes more complex sentences. On the surface, this might seem like a clear advantage. However, the examiner's mindset is focused on precision and clarity. They want to see exact word choice and logical flow of ideas. Let's analyze the second answer. Even though it's shorter, every word carries weight. The writer doesn't waste time on unnecessary details. Each sentence builds on the previous one, guiding the reader smoothly. This kind of clarity impresses examiners. In fact, it often leads to a higher score than a longer answer filled with overly complex sentences that may confuse the reader. Now consider the model answer from the official Band 9. Notice how it combines conciseness with depth. Every phrase moves the argument forward. There's no room for fluff. This answer demonstrates a level of precision that sets it apart. It's like a perfectly tailored suit. Every element fits precisely where it needs to. To achieve this level, focus on using words that carry the most meaning. Avoid filler words and phrases. Think about your sentence structure. Make sure each part fits together logically. Remember, the examiner's mindset is all about precision and clarity. So when you write, aim to communicate your ideas with both accuracy and ease. That's how you'll truly impress them. Now, let's shift our focus to coherence and cohesion. While many students understand the importance of using linking words, they often default to basic connectors like however and therefore. While these are fine, they don't demonstrate an advanced ability to guide the reader. Here's the truth. Examiners silently expect more from Band 8 and 9 essays. They want to see how you handle complex ideas and present them logically. This is where more sophisticated linking words come into play. Words like consequently, nevertheless, and additionally elevate your writing. They show your ability to think like an academic, to structure your arguments in a way that makes sense and flows naturally. Here's a simple trick. When you write your essay, try to avoid using basic connectors. Instead, look for opportunities to use more advanced alternatives. You can find many of these words on your own, but I've compiled a full list of the top 20 linking words for IELTS writing. I've included examples of when and where to use each one. You can download this list completely free. Click on the link in the description or in the top right corner to access the resource. It's a fantastic tool to boost your coherence and cohesion scores by demonstrating a nuanced understanding of how to link ideas together seamlessly. Finally, in IELTS writing, examiners silently reward those who can handle complex ideas. In speaking part 3, the examiner's follow-up questions are not random. They are designed to check your ability to think critically and build on ideas. Let me explain. You answer a question, and the examiner asks a follow-up. It seems spontaneous, but in reality, the question has a specific purpose. They want to see if you can respond thoughtfully instead of giving a quick or incomplete answer. For example, after you answer, do you prefer to live in a big city or a small town? The examiner might ask, why do many people prefer big cities? At first, this question seems unrelated, but it tests your ability to build on the initial answer. Your response shows whether you can think deeply about the topic. Don't give short or rehearsed answers. Take a moment to consider the question. If you need clarification, ask for it. Then respond fully, showing that you understand the examiner's unspoken expectations. In the end, preparing for IELTS is not only about learning English, it is about learning the examiner's psychology. If you train with this mindset, you stop wasting time on memorization and start targeting exactly what the examiner rewards. This is the difference between Band 6.5 and Band 8 or 9. Watch closely, practice deliberately, and you will see the change. The examiner's mindset is the missing piece in your IELTS preparation, and now you know how to unlock it. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Thank you.